People who take massive war crime level dumps in public bathrooms but don't flush. Why? I did this once because I had no choice. I had to be somewhere early for work that was 5 hours away. So I'm driving this whole time. Before sunrise. Drinking coffee. A little nervous for this work thing. And now I have to speak bad. I find a random Denny's and run straight to the bathroom. There's only one stall. I lock the door and turn to find someone clogged the entire bowl with paper and ass gaskets. I proceed to push out this ridiculous soft-serve mountain on top of the soggy paper platform. Like a McDonald's ice cream cone. But steep. The entire pile is above water. I had to hover and wipe just to avoid touching it. I had no choice but to top it off with a blanket of steepy paper. By the time I'm done, the summit is a good 3 inches above sea level. I could push that flusher 100 times and the whole structure wouldn't budge. Absolutely shameful. If anyone here is a Denny's employee in Northridge, CA that had to deal with this, I'm sorry. Used to work in a small office with 2 separate bathrooms. One on either side of our office space. Each was a tiny room with a toilet and a sink. There was a guy who, without fail, about an hour or 2 after lunch, would decimate one crime scene level mess. With the odor as well. And that odor would waft outward to the nearest cubicle residents, who complained daily. He never flushed. And his excuse was that he'd read how toilets create an aerosol effect when they're flushed, which sends a cloud of mist into the air. And he refused to endure that because who knows who else used that toilet. Which meant someone else got the honor of being sprayed with his leavings. Boss told him he had 2 choices. Flush and spray Lysol generously, which truly does little to abate the stench. Or use the facilities somewhere else. I'm sorry to say he chose to go to the nearest fast food place instead. To those valiant McDonald's employees, I'm so sorry. You did not deserve that. As a janitor, I'd like to know the answer to this as well. Also, why poop in the urinal? Speaker was full. For me, I get confused when there's no paper. And no way in hell they had a ghostion to find. I believe it's called the fight or flight response. What if it's so large it doesn't flush? Can't flush it if it's on the floor, now can I? Well, having had the office by the bathrooms, I can probably tell you. Mostly they just don't know that it didn't go down. Epic-filled bowls take more than one flush, and some people's mothers didn't raise them to check their flush. They just get up, hit the lever, hopefully wet their hands, and leave. Other people clog the toilet. In my case, we had a plunger, but many bathrooms just don't for some ungodly reason. And even in our case, many people just leave because they don't know how / don't want to deal with a clogged toilet. Again, I blame bad parenting. Probably just didn't get enough hugs as a child. Oh. And there were a few people that put peeping paper towel in the toilet. Those are the cat stranglers. You really have to watch out for them. Some people like to show off. What about the people that have sticky poop where no matter how many times you flush it doesn't dislodge and you have to use another bowl? I imagine the dude doing the walk of shame to another stall to continue on his path of toilet destruction. Disclaimer. This is the story about my war crime speep. I was pooping in a stall at Union Station in Los Angeles. It was one of those legs to the wall. I can feel the separate layers within my intestines all being vacated type speeps. It was totally thorough. I'm in a stall near the entrance to the public restroom. I can hear the footsteps and the comments of everyone as they enter. A boy and his father walk and it smells like poopy in here, daddy, or something along those lines. A few moments later, a old voice yells from a stall to my left, goddamn. Prison rules. Mother of peeper. Give us a courtesy flush on that speep. At this point I'm trying not to laugh. This speep has been a non-stop experience. My anus is open and I'm like a soft-serve ice cream machine down there, man. When it's time to wipe, I barely have enough room to drop in the TP. I left and never looked back. Okay, so this is my story and I can't be bothered changing accounts to a throwaway, so hopefully I don't get any repercussions. I had a customer years and years ago. She hated me and I never knew why. I was polite, eager to help but not obnoxious. My boss theorized it was because I was a kid. Mind you, I was about 21 but looked around 15. I found out she worked as a cleaner for public toilets, and that included a local one. One day, I was serving her at the register and she was paying cash. Instead of handing the money over like a decent human, she tossed it and waited for me to pick up the coins. I picked up the coins and smiled, asking if she was okay, and brushed it off as an accident. On my lunch break, she did it to the local cafe worker, a girl who was around my age. I asked around and yeah, she did this to all the kids who served her. So, I did what any mature 21-year-old did. I worked in a pharmacy. Bought some laxatives and waited after my shift. I went to the local public toilet that I knew she cleaned and let out the biggest, wettest, most cramp-induced speep I had ever had. It hurt and I swear I lost a few kilograms. I pulled out a Sharpie and wrote in the cubicle, treat us with respect and you throw money. We throw speep and so on. I did a stakeout. I was a distance away in a parking lot and waited. I ate some macas and waited. Around 7:30 to 8:00 she arrived in her glorious uniform and her trolley of goods. She went in and came out and choked. I laughed and watched. She was in there for close to an hour. The next time I served her, she was timid. She was scared. She did not throw money at me. TL. Doctor. I took laxatives to get revenge on a cleaner who was mean to me and my peers. Undefined. I reckon she got the message because she stopped being a massive bitch after that. Last I heard of her, because it's been like 8 years now, is that she had quit her job not too long after and is a quiet and respectful customer now. Remember, kids. Violence is never the answer. You can show people the light by opening your blinking abyss.